Okay, we're going to do a cold start. There's our completely cold start, and hasn't been run in a couple of days. And you can see there's no smoke at all. And it sounds really good. Very smooth running. 380 SL. It's originally a California car. Spent most of its life in California. We've got records on it, and it's got brand new tires on it. We have it here with the 450 SLC, just as kind of a neat comparison, and in terms of the size and all that. And so we got a new top for it, and then before we took the hard top off, we just assumed that because this car had been stored in a garage for years and years and not used, that probably the top was in need of replacement. And we were really surprised that this top is excellent. So we didn't need that. And it runs and drives great. We're looking at the 380 SL, and we wanted to show you, the engine compartment, just our observations of it. And so, you want to talk about what you've observed? And
yeah, again, this first thing I like to look at on these is that lobe, and again, really smooth, no pitting, no signs of tired or dirty oil.
Okay, cool. And you were going to talk about the fuel system.
Yeah.
So this car was in storage in a garage. The fellow who bought it in California, and all the service records, I think, are his from California. He moved to Washington, D.C., and the car ended up in his garage, unused, for not started or anything for years. So
possibly decade.
I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly, because we've had this car for a long time, and we've had it for 4 years or something, and it's basically been sitting in our warehouse. So go ahead and say what
so the gas that was in it had fouled. It had the turpentine smell, and it was very, very dark. Given that, we replaced the fuel tank, everything up to the front, the fuel distributor, the warm-up regulator, lines, check compression, got high 170s across the board. But the car, it runs great now. It did run with the older fuel, but that's something that you shouldn't do.
Great.
Okay. Also, the everything on it's original. There's no aftermarket or modifications, including it's got the proper pump down here. I don't know if you can see that. California car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's very original looking. The bolts and all look good along the fenders. Absolutely no signs of this car ever having been wrecked, damaged. And of course, the really important area to look for that with those questions is all the details up here. Just like here, and how it matches perfect here, and just every little bit along in here, where they have the VIN stamped in there, and then going down into the front, where it's not quite as clean, but it's very original, and all the welds and everything. We talked about on that other car how looking at the screws and stuff like that. So
the one thing that's very telling are these the condenser fan wiring.
Yeah.
The loom. It's whenever they're replaced, you never see the original zip ties. Yeah.
Wow. Those are factory zip ties?
Yep.
God. It's kind of weird. So it's a good car. Runs and drives great. And I guess that's about it. Anything else? Okey-doke.